Very quickly in this video, we're going to go over how to download and install LockDown browser in order for you to take your exams. Keep in mind, LockDown browser will not work on a Chromebook, on an iPad, on a tablet, or on an Android or an iPhone, some type of cellular device. You do have to have a fully functioning PC or a Mac in order for this to work. So if you do have a Chromebook only, you need to probably stop this video right now and get in touch with me, the instructor, as soon as possible so we can discuss your other options. But once we get past that and you do have, you're ready to install this so that you can take the practice exam or your first exam, what you're going to do is go to PJC homepage, obviously. Up here at the top, you'll click on online internet courses. And you'll notice log into your Blackboard course. That should look pretty familiar, hopefully. Most of you are very familiar with this page. If you come down here under other helpful links, you are going to see download the Respondus LockDown browser. That's exactly what we want to do. This is also, once you click on this, it should look, if you've clicked on click here to download, on the start here page in Blackboard for this course, then this should look pretty familiar to you. If you do have a Mac, you can come right down here and just click on do you need the Mac version, and then you can install that onto your Mac. When you're ready to install it, just click on install now. You'll notice this install LockDown browser for Paris Junior College. If for some reason you have also attended another institution and you have already installed this, you will need to install the one specifically for PJC. So just keep that in mind. It'll go through the install now, the installation wizard. It'll take probably, depending on your connection and your internet speed, hopefully just about 5 minutes. If you do have a kind of a weak connection speed or it takes a long time, it may take, 10, 15 minutes to install it. But once it's installed, you're going to look for a certain icon on your desktop that will resemble this. So we're going to pause this for just a second so that you can see my desktop. And this is what that little icon looks like on your desktop when you eventually get to this point. So you are ready to take your exam. What you're going to do is shut down everything. Hopefully you can see down here, I've got a couple of things open. I've got some Excel spreadsheets, I've got PowerPoint, I've got Word open. What Respondus is going to force me to do in order to get me back to the exam is to close all those applications on my desktop. So you'll have nothing open. It'll be like you log onto your computer and you start fresh. So you double click on LockDown browser, and what it does is it automatically takes you back to Blackboard, and then you'll log in just like you would on a typical normal day. You'll use your username and your password, which should be a combination of your last name and your student ID at Paris Junior College, and then your birth date. So once you double click on that, takes you back into Blackboard. You'll just log in as normal to your Blackboard account. You'll go to our history class, and then you'll find that first practice exam or exam 1. Here I am back in Blackboard. I'm using the LockDown browser now. I've logged into my Blackboard account just like I normally would using, say, Google Chrome or Firefox, using those browsers, only this time it's with a Respondus LockDown browser mode. Then you just, like I said, you navigate back to our class, you go back to the weekly modules, you go back to exam 1, or depending on if this is the practice exam, you're going to click on that. And you'll notice, like if I had tried to get on Google Chrome, it's not going to allow me to open anything else on my computer. I can only have Blackboard open on my computer. This is the same in all of the classes. You'll notice I'm in my 1301 class, but it doesn't matter if you're in History 1301, if you're in 1302, 2312, 2321, etc., etc. So this is the same format that we use for all of those. With Respondus LockDown browser, and since you're doing this in the comfort, hopefully, of your own home, the expectation is, hey, you use your textbook, if you have a printed copy of your textbook, or you use the notes that you've created, you've taken the time to sit down and print out all of those chapter quizzes so that you have, kind of a cheat sheet in front of you as you're taking this exam. Hopefully you've been exposed to over half of the exam and you took it upon yourself either to write down those chapter quiz questions or you printed those out on your own. I expect you to use all those when you're taking these exams. Just a couple of really quickly kind of last minute things when it comes to Respondus. If for some reason you cannot get this to work on your personal computer, you can't get it downloaded and installed correctly, I'm not the person to call. if you need help with figuring that out, you're going to get in touch with help desk. And if you go back out to the to this, start here, there's a link to our help desk and their phone number and everything. Get in touch with them and they can help you with that. Also, if you wait till the last minute to try to get this installed and it just doesn't work, you may have to end up going to a PJC campus in order to take your exam, which is fine. Don't go to the testing center. You won't be allowed to set up a test in there anyways. What you're going to do is just go to one of the libraries at the PJC campus. So you can go to the library, for instance, on the Paris campus, go in there, sit down at any of the computers in there, and you will see the LockDown browser icon, the one that I showed you just a second ago. You'll see this downloaded on all of those computers when you sit down. Or you can go to one of the computer labs. I know on the main campus we have our writing center lab. You can go in there and you can take the exam. In Greenville, you will go to the library/computer lab there, and you can sit down at one of those computers and take this exam. If you get into it the correct way, you click on this instead of clicking on Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or Firefox. If you click on this first thing, it will take you exactly where you need to go. If you are in Google Chrome and you try to access the exam that way, it's going to give you this warning sign. Everything will look like it's going great. What I've done is I've accessed an exam from a different class. So you'll see these same type of things. It probably say like exam 1, something different, down here. But it looks like you can do everything. But when you click over here on click begin, it's going to give you this pop-up warning, and it's going to tell you this assignment requires that you use Respondus LockDown browser. Start Respondus LockDown browser and navigate back to this assessment to continue. It's not asking you for the password or anything like that. I know that it says password right here, but if you actually read what it says, it's saying you've entered this using the wrong internet browser. You need to shut this one down, get back out, go to LockDown browser and use that one. So make sure you are actually reading what this says, because I do not require a password on my exams. In all of the internet classes, there will be a practice exam for you to try to complete within the first 2 weeks of the course that the course is open. You'll see that practice exam pop up, and it will require you to go to the exam using Respondus LockDown browser. So make sure you try that out. Those are, they're just practice. They don't count for anything. It's just to make sure that you've downloaded and you've installed the correct software and then it's working correctly. As always, you can email me. You can use the inbox tool, which we are utilizing, in order for me to know exactly which course you are synced to, and then, just tell me what issues you're having, and we can always do a walkthrough and hopefully get this set up and installed on your computer correctly.